Apa sih arti konten yang berdaging-daging? Mungkin kamu sering mendengar kalimat, buatlah konten yang berkualitas dan memiliki value tinggi. Daging dalam hal ini adalah value. Jadi, dalam konten yang berdaging-daging berarti konten yang memiliki value yang tinggi. Nah, sekarang timbul pertanyaan baru kan? Konten yang memiliki value itu apa sih? Konten yang memiliki kualitas tinggi tuh gimana sih? Nah, di sini aku mau coba jelasin konten yang memiliki kualitas tinggi dan value tinggi. Kita mulai dari kualitas dulu. Gimana sih konten yang berkualitas itu? Konten yang berkualitas itu memiliki 3 checklist ini. Yang pertama, memiliki produksi yang bagus. Produksi yang bagus berarti konten itu bisa saja menggunakan lighting yang bagus, cara pengambilan gambar yang menarik, atau memiliki B-roll yang berkualitas tinggi. Dengan arti lain, pembuat konten juga melakukan effort lebih dalam memproduksi kontennya dan tidak asal jadi. Yang kedua, berstruktur baik. Gimana sih konten yang memiliki struktur yang baik itu? Konten yang memiliki struktur yang baik itu memiliki urutan yang jelas dan mudah dipahami oleh penonton. Contoh struktur yang menarik atau rapi itu contohnya menggunakan urutan introduksi, lalu penjelasan, dan diakhiri dengan kesimpulan. Masih banyak konten kreator yang tidak menggunakan struktur yang jelas dalam videonya, sehingga penonton atau viewer tidak mendapatkan poin yang dimaksud oleh pembuat kontennya. Jadi, hal ini sangat harus diperhatikan dengan baik-baik. Yang ketiga, orisinalitas. Ide yang orisinil juga merupakan tanda ide kalian fresh dan baru, menunjukkan kualitas konten kamu tinggi karena minim plagiarisasi. Dengan ini, penonton lebih percaya dengan personalmu dibanding dengan konten kreator yang hanya tiru-tiru saja atau plagiat saja ya. Sudah cukup jelas kan bagaimana video yang berkualitas itu? Kita masuk ke video yang memiliki value atau daging.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about 9 different ways that you can make passive income. And for each of those, I'm going to talk about how hard it is to get started, how hard it is to make $100 a month from it, and how hard it is to maintain once you've created the thing in the first place. For me and my business, these 9 different sources generate around $27,000 per week these days with varying degrees of passiveness. And obviously, this has taken me like 8 years to build up, so don't expect
Sini aku kasih tahu, kalimat itu dilontarkan ketika konten kita bisa memberikan informasi yang baru dan belum penonton itu dengar sebelumnya. Atau bahasa kerennya, teach something new. Atau juga bisa kita membagikan atau menjelaskan bagaimana cara menyelesaikan suatu masalah yang mudah hingga kompleks.
So let's say you were to write a book. If you write a book, you publish a book, that book is now on bookshelves. You've done the work kind of once to write.
Atau juga bisa konten-konten yang menginspirasi seseorang juga bisa berarti sebagai konten yang memiliki value.
because you've created this thing which is out in the world, which is generating income for you. The other thing with passive income is that it always takes a very long time to get going. So,
Untuk YouTube, value ini juga lebih berarti ketika video kita bisa menjawab sesuatu atau memberikan solusi bagi penonton yang sedang mencari-cari solusi atas suatu masalah tersebut.
If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, those things just don't exist, so you might as well not even try. And the way I think of this is that ultimately money is just a medium for exchanging value. The only way to make money is to provide value. And the only way to make passive income, passive money, is to provide value in a way that is not directly tied to your time. So please, please, please do not try and join a get-rich-quick scheme. They don't exist. I've had lots of messages over the years from people who have tried signing up to a get-rich-quick crypto scheme or a gambling scheme or a, hey, here is how you kind of play poker online. None of these things ever work. People always end up losing money. The only way to make money is by providing value. And so, let's talk about the 9 different ways that you could provide value if you wanted to. Just before we dive in, I want to tell you that I've just launched my brand new Skillshare class about productivity for creators, how to start a successful side hustle. That's linked in the video description. Skillshare is sponsoring this video. I'll tell you more about Skillshare later on, but I want to plug my own class because I think it's genuinely really good and people really like it, and it will help you get tips on how you can start side hustles in your spare time. Anyway, let's get into the video. All right, so let's kick things off with investing in stocks and shares. And in this context, the way that we provide value is by offering up our money. Providing money and investing in a service is, in a way, giving a form of value. And so when we give our money to a company in the form of buying their stocks, it makes sense that we would get some kind of return for that investment. And we're starting with this because investing in stocks is the easiest way to make any kind of passive income. If you have any sorts of savings and you're sitting in a savings account earning 0.01% interest, they're not really doing very much for you. Whereas if you had those savings and put them in stocks, you could potentially be earning passive income from the money that's otherwise just sitting there. Now, I've got a whole video called The Ultimate Guide to Investing in Stocks and Shares for Beginners, which is going to be linked over there somewhere. So that is a solid half an hour long introduction to stocks and exactly how they work. But the thing that I recommend for most beginners as a non-financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, purely for entertainment purposes only, so people say, or at least the thing that I do is that basically all my money that's in stocks and shares is invested in index funds. Now, an index fund is something like the S&P 500. And when you invest, let's say $1,000 in the S&P 500, that basically means that your $1,000 is distributed amongst the top 500 biggest companies in the US. So, you know, weighted by how big they are. So like, you know, 2% of it would be in Apple, 2% in Facebook, 2% in Google, 2% in Microsoft. And then you probably won't have heard of the 500th company on the list, but basically all the big US companies you've heard of, you end up investing in all of them a little bit at a time. So if you want to get started with that, all you need to do...
Sampai di sini dulu aja video kita kali ini. Jangan lupa like, share, komen, dan subscribe ya untuk video-video selanjutnya. See you!